Hello everyone, Xforts here, and welcome to JoJolion Chapter 93 review and discussion, the last JoJolion chapter of the year. And I hope you guys are all having a wonderful holiday season, and I hope you guys also have a great holiday, whether you celebrate Christmas, something else, or nothing at all. I hope you guys are all just doing wonderful. And of course, I gotta address the elephant in the room here. I cut my hair. Why did I cut my hair? I just kind of felt like it. I had long hair for like 2 or 3 years and I was just kind of sick of it. So I said, just chop it all off. I think it looks good and it feels a lot more comfortable and it's a lot less maintenance. And oh God, you guys have no idea how good it feels to get that off my head. But I hope it's not too jarring. I tried to let you guys know as much as possible. I put a YouTube community post up letting you guys know. I posted on Twitter, so I hope none of you guys are like crazy shocked right now. But yes, the long hair is gone. Maybe I'll change my YouTube avatar now. It's not very accurate to what I look like at this point. But anyways, guys, hope you guys are all having a great holiday. A lot of changes going on right now. We got a new aspect ratio. We got a new camera. We have a new haircut. We have a Christmas tree. So yeah, we're being festive for this year because we didn't get a JoJolion chapter last Christmas. It was on hiatus for December, so I didn't get to do a Christmas episode. So now we're doing a Christmas episode. But let's get right into JoJolion chapter 93. Again, hope you guys are all having a wonderful holiday season. So the chapter starts off with the cover of Ultra Jump. We got the Ultra Jump cover this month. Let's go. And it says, go to 2020. 2020, dude, is going to be, oh my God. Hope you guys are excited for the new year. When did we start off this year in JoJolion? I think it was the chapter with like the boar on the cover because it was a Rocky, celebrating the year of the pig. And I can't believe that was a year ago. That feels like it was just a few months ago. But damn, another year of JoJolion down, and we're going into a whole nother year full of JoJolion. And the latest chapters have been absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to see where this part goes in 2020. So Ultra Jump cover, you have the characters performing similar poses to chapter 92's cover. And this is actually a language. I believe I don't want to mess this up. It's called Sign Semaphore Universal International Language, something like that. It's a language you can use with flags. It's often used by sailors and in just like survival type situations. You can like flag down planes or just like in emergencies. So what they're actually spelling here is that this is though J and then this is O. So you have Mamazuku and Jobin performing the J's and then Soft and Wet and Yasuo doing the O. So their shirts say JoJo and they're spelling out JoJo with their bodies and you have the JoJo, Josuke in the middle. So a whole lot of JoJo going on. But to get on to the actual chapter itself, the cover page, you have Josuke just performing sort of his jumping pose, kind of reminiscent of early JoJolion around like chapter 3 when Josuke hit that yeet, and that's like the meme panel of him, but he's kind of doing it again here in his new design. And the chapter is titled Dangerous Pursuit Part 5. So pretty nice cover page. Again, Josuke's new design is growing on me. It looks really badass because we see it a lot more in this chapter. And it has like slight redesign kind of as his left eye is like completely gone. Like the rock has consumed his left eye at this point, and it looks really weird in some of the pages in this chapter, but it's still growing on me and I still think it looks badass. JoJo is not the same as other mangas. Sometimes like MCs, like, the main character of a manga will get like injured or something. They'll get an eye patch. Our JoJo got a rock in his eye. It's fucking ridiculous. I guess it is truly a bizarre adventure. Okay, so this is a really short chapter this month as well, guys. It's only 31 pages. One of the shortest JoJolion chapters I can remember, maybe in like the past couple years. Usually I would consider a short chapter somewhere around like 39, 42 pages. On the longer side, we have like 55 to 50 pages. So yeah, really short chapter this month, and also not a lot happens in the beginning, so we'll get into it right now. Why is my Joy-Con not working? Hold on. Okay, fixed it. So you see that we're getting like sort of a recap of what's happening with the branch. And Josuke and Josuke and Yasuo have this like tension going on where they're working towards different things at this point. So Josuke truly believes that the head doctor and the rock humans at the TG University Hospital are in possession of the branch. But Yasuo says, no, that's not true.
That's not true.
They don't have the branch. Someone in the Higashikata family has it. And Yasuo knows this because when she was in her fight against Wu Tomiki, which was after the Poor Tom fight, Wu Tomiki was talking about how they do not have possession of the branch and they don't have it and they're still working with the old Rokakaka. So Yasuo has the information and she knows that the branch is not in possession of the rock humans. But Josuke and Mamazuku are being like so bitter or so like hard-headed towards Yasuo, and they're like, no, we don't believe you, Yasuo. They have the branch. Like, we don't have time to listen to you. So it's kind of frustrating seeing them like sort of, run in circles trying to find the branch that's not there when Yasuo is a lot less powerful than them and she knows where it is and she's actually going off on her own to try to get it. So if they would just come together and they would just listen to each other, they could be getting the branch together, but no, of course not. So the first 10 pages of this chapter, which is 1/3 of the chapter, is literally just a mailman walking through the hospital. And you see him, he works for a company called Bike High, and then we see Josuke Picking up off from chapter 92, the last time we saw Josuke, he was on like the roof of the hospital, and it was after Holly had fallen asleep back into her coma, and Josuke said the quote that, I cannot chase after the head doctor, but I can be made to chase after the head doctor. And it's repeated again in this chapter, and I think we have a better understanding of what that actually means now. So you see Josuke taping up a package, and he hands it to this delivery guy. It's funny, because I always got to remember that JoJolion takes place in sort of like modern day, so they have things like cell phones, like this guy's essentially like an Uber Eats driver. Like he just like shows up on his bike and he'll deliver a package for you. And Josuke hands him the package, and the delivery man says, "This address, are you sure this is correct?" And we don't see what's in the package. We don't see where it's going. Josuke hands him it. He hands him a shitload of money, and the guy goes off. And that brings us to like page 10 right there. Like seriously, 4 pages was just the guy walking through the hospital with no text whatsoever. Okay, so what was in the package and where did Josuke ship it to? I think like really the only logical conclusion for that is that he shipped a package to Mamazuku, who is currently in prison. And I assume if Josuke addressed it to like Morioh prison or like detention center or something, that would get a reaction out of the delivery man. And the delivery guy would be like, you want this sent to the prison? Are you sure? Instead if he was just sending something to like the Higashikata house, the delivery man probably wouldn't question the address. But because he questions the address, I assume that's Josuke sending a package to Mamazuku in prison. And now the question, what's in the package? I think it could be low kakaka 6251. And guys, speaking of 6251, like one person let me know in the comments, that is in reference to one of Araki's art books here. Rocky released this in like the early 2000s, I think, I think this was before, maybe like right in the beginning of part 5, end of part 4, something like that. And yeah, it's called JoJo 6251. So a little reference for what that number means with Lokakaka. But back to JoJolion, I think Josuke really took like a sample of the Lokakaka, or just kind of wrote a note with information with what's going on, where to find Josuke, and what the current situation is. Because we see at the end of this scene, Josuke has a plan, and maybe he wanted to relay that information to Mamazuku and tell Mamazuku how to get to him or something like that. The other possible theories I had was like, since Tsurugi is being affected by the rock disease, maybe Josuke took some of the 6251 formula and sent it to the Higashikata home and was like, here, Norisuke, give this to Tsurugi. But I don't think that makes sense because, again, the man wouldn't question just a normal home address, as well as I don't think Josuke knows that Tsurugi's being affected by the rock disease. I don't think there's any way he could know because he was with Mamazuku at like in the Lamborghini tree, then they got caught by the police, and then they got brought to the hospital. So if I'm remembering correctly, I think Josuke is out of the loop on that, and the Tsurugi stuff is really isolated, as not even Yasuo knows, but she finds out this chapter. So continuing on forward, we have the quote again that says, "I cannot find out his identity, him being the head doctor. I must not pursue him. But it's okay if I'm made to go after him." And we see Josuke in this really cool panel just sitting, just waiting for the head doctor, which is like, for some reason, there we go, now I can zoom in on it. So we have Josuke sitting here waiting, and what I think his plan is that the quote in chapter 92 where it's like, "But I can be made to go after him," to me, I was like, I don't really understand that. Maybe the evolution he went through with the Lokakaka 6251, maybe that affected him in some way that he would be able to pursue the head doctor, but what I think it means by that, I can be made to pursue him, is that now that Josuke has gone through some sort of an evolution, and now he's combined with the new Rokakaka formula, which is so confusing at this point because there's the new Rokakaka, there's the Rokakaka, there's Lokakaka 6251, and we don't even know what the hell they do. Like their abilities, it always says like equivalent exchange, but like I need like a full page of Araki explaining the differences of all of them and what they can do and why they're important, but we have so many different variations of it. But Josuke, I think what it means is that he's just going to sit there and wait. And I think that now that he's gone through this evolution, the head doctor might be interested in him in some way, or now like he might want to experiment on him or something, or just see what happens when a human consumes the Lokakaka after taking like a crazy amount of damage. Because essentially Josuke was just like a test experiment for the Lokakaka. And I think earlier in chapter 92 during the head doctor's seminar, they said that they've done like light testing on humans, but they mostly did it on animals. So I think the head doctor might come to Josuke to see what happens when a human like fully goes through a Lokakaka transformation. So I think maybe that's what it means when it says I can be made to pursue him, which means now the head doctor is essentially going to be pursuing Josuke because he's just waiting. He's just sitting in the hospital. He made a big mess. He punched the wall and he's just sitting in that same room. Let me know what you guys think about like what that could mean, being made to have the head be made to pursue the head doctor, but I think that's kind of where we're going at. And that's the first scene of the chapter, and that brings us to page 10, really, and that's 1/3 of the chapter. But now we switch scenes over to Yasuo's perspective, and the last time we saw Yasuo was end of 91, something like that, and she was with Toru, and she said, I need to like check out the Higashikata home. I got to make sure everyone's okay for some reason. I can't really remember, but she was on her way to the Higashikata home. Not her physically, but Paisley Park. She sent Paisley Park through the power lines, and Paisley Park was on her way. And now we see that Paisley Park has reached the Higashikata home. And of course, like I mentioned earlier in the chapter review, Yasuo is 100% aware that the branch is in this house somewhere. And again, it's so frustrating. Just communicate with Josuke. Just Josuke, believe Yasuo, because she's right, obviously. And I mean, it's not like she's speaking illogically. Josuke's just fired up, I guess, and he can't listen to her. So we have more explanation for a few pages of, she talks about like, there was the fire in the orchard and who could have got the branch? There must have been, and of course she says this, she's like, they must have swapped it out in some way. And never once does Yasuo deduce that, Tsurugi's ability is literally able to alter your perspective and make you see things differently. And Yasuo is never like, maybe it was Tsurugi. She doesn't even like question that whatsoever, which is like, dude, it's Tsurugi. Obviously, he has the only stand that could possibly do that. But Paisley Park is in the Higashikata home now, and Paisley Park, again, remember in Stardust Crusaders how stands could shrink during the Steely Dan, the Lover's Arc, when it was like Silver Chariot and I think Silver Chariot and Hierophant Green had to go inside Joseph, and they had to like fight the lovers, and they were like, yeah, you can shrink your stand if you want to. Just like, I don't think there was really an explanation for it, but we see that happening again in an alternate universe, like 5 parts later. But yes, you can shrink your stand again as Paisley Park gets really small, and she jumps inside of Joshu's pants, which is the closest Joshu will ever get to having Yasuo in his pants, unfortunately. And he doesn't even know what's happening. So right now she's just, walking around with Joshu, trying to find out where this branch could be in the Higashikata house. And she noticed that everyone's on edge a little bit. There's a little bit of tension in the house. You see Norisuke on the stairs sort of moping. And you see Joshu actually have like a really mature response to what's happening with Tsurugi. So Yasuo doesn't know Tsurugi's being affected by the rock disease. You can see the reaction of the whole family here. You have the sisters are in the kitchen over here, and or later in the chapter you see that they have like tears coming down their face. You have Norisuke crying, and Joshu is like, being the man of the house right now, and he's like, come on, we're a family. We have to just put like all of our power together. Like if we all work together, we could be able to figure something out and do this. And it's like, dude, Joshu redemption arc right now. Like he's the only one being proactive or like trying to save Tsurugi in this situation. And it's so sad when we actually see Tsurugi. He looks like the guys from those like anti-weed commercials back in like the early 2000s where the girl's like melting into the couch. But that's Tsurugi right now, melting, looking like he's obviously like combining with Paper Moon Kane. And one thing that I didn't really notice about Paisley Park that I did notice in this chapter was like, oh yeah, Paisley Park isn't like a physical stand that can just like go out of Yasuo's body and walk around. Paisley Park needs to be directly linked to some sort of technology. So Paisley Park is trying to roam freely around the house, but she's limited to Joshu's cell phones, computers, other people's cell phones. And when I saw this, I was like, did Paisley Park change in some way? Is that really how it's always worked? But then when I thought about it, it's like, yeah, I think that's how Paisley Park has always worked throughout the entire part. I think she needs to be linked to some sort of phone or some sort of piece of technology that allows her to become a physical being, which is cool because she's like she pops out of Joshu's pocket with the phone, and she like spins herself into Tsurugi's room, and then she hops out of Joshu's phone and into a phone on the desk where Tsurugi is laying. And this is the first time Yasuo sees Tsurugi being affected by the rock disease, and it's so cute seeing the interaction between Tsurugi because Tsurugi really likes Yasuo. Tsurugi and Yasuo had like a really good relationship. In like the beginning of the part, they like sort of fought, but then later on they formed like a strong bond and they consider themselves like brother and sister almost. So Tsurugi's like, big sis Yasuo, like you got to get out of here, it's dangerous. And they just kind of have that whole back and forth interaction, like leave right now, it's dangerous. And Yasuo was like, no, what's going on, please tell me. And as they're arguing about this, the phone that Paisley Park is inside of gets picked up, and she gets dragged away, and it's like, oh shit, who's this? And she gets thrown into like a tub of water. We can't really see what it is yet. And then you see from Yasuo's perspective, because apparently, with some stands, damage transfers, with some stands it doesn't. But apparently with Paisley Park, damage will transfer to user. I mean, but it's not really damage. The phone just got consumed with Paisley Park. And now Yasuo's like spewing water out of every orifice, her mouth, her eyes, her fingertips. And you see Jobin, looking like a real villain right now, dropping her into the toilet, and then he just flushes her. He's just like, this is the video that it reminds me of. that's Jobin at Yasuo. But like, I don't know why Yasuo took so much damage from this. And of course the chapter ends with a cliffhanger of Yasuo like, oh, I'm dying. Araki, come on, bro. We've had like 4 cliffhangers in this part so far of people being like, is Yasuo dead? Is Yasuo gonna die? No, Yasuo's not gonna die. Araki does this shit every 6 months, dude. Do you guys remember before when Jobin like went up to Yasuo and literally just like burned the side of her head and then she collapsed again? And we were like, oh my god, is Yasuo dead? If she wasn't dead yet, if she wasn't dead then, she's not dead now. And it's like, why is that like the only thing Yasuo's character is used for? Is just to like make us think like, oh, is she gonna die? This is the second time she's gotten messed up by Jobin too. And it makes me think that like, if Josuke were to find out about this, he should have like the biggest grudge against Jobin. Like, honestly, if Josuke knew about this, he should be going after Jobin instead of the head doctor. Cause like, I really don't like how, JoJolion shift its romantic focus later into the part. So like JoJolion was always like a really erotic and really mature part. And I really wanted to see like a strong relationship from a main JoJo. And like that was like implied and had so much emphasis put on it earlier in the part. Like, do you guys remember like early JoJolion? Like it was like almost a love story between Josuke and Yasuo. And now like it seems like they don't even like each other and Josuke doesn't really care what she's up to and she's just off on her own thing. And we're getting really late into the part right now. And I really miss that part of JoJolion, which was the Josuke and Yasuo connection. Cause like I would love to see that as JoJolion gets more mature later in these parts. I would love to see like just a full on love interest and maybe 2 characters actually become a couple, which I think would just be really cool. And I think that would really fit the theme of JoJolion as well and be a good thing for Josuke and Yasuo's character because they both like each other too. And again, the point I was getting at is that like this is the second time Jobin has tried to kill Yasuo and Josuke doesn't even know. I think maybe he might know about the first time, but like he doesn't even really care at this point. So I think once Josuke eventually is going to save Yasuo, obviously, if she didn't even tell him the first time, I don't even think she said like, I was attacked by Jobin, unless she didn't even know herself, but it's like, and she probably won't know she was attacked by Jobin this time either, but it's like, dude, I just want to see Josuke kick the shit out of Jobin, just like, you hurt my girlfriend, and then he just goes like ape shit on him. But that's the end of the chapter right there. Yasuo ending with the cliffhanger, and I told you guys, it was a really short chapter, chapter 31, and really the biggest parts of this chapter, I want to say, I really don't care about the Yasuo stuff. Her getting hurt, it's like, what's new? Really, I think the most interesting part was in the beginning with Josuke. I want to know what was in that box. I want to know what he sent to Momozuku, and I want to know what he is doing just sitting, waiting at this hospital. And I mean, of course, the Yasuo stuff is like kind of interesting, but it's really just Jobin being evil, you know? And the thing with Jobin too is that like, he doesn't seem very distraught about Tsurugi whatsoever. He seems to really be hyper-focused on the new Rokakaka. And again, it hasn't been stated what Jobin even wants to do with the new Rokakaka in like 30 chapters, way before he was like, I want the new Rokakaka so I could use it to, you know, produce, you know, cheaper goods for like the Higashikata fruit parlor or something like that. And I'm like, that is so lame. Like, that is one of the lamest motivations for any sort of antagonist type character. And it's like, oh, I want the fruit so I can have a good business, so I can make some money for the cheap or whatever. And it's like, I wish Jobin had his motivation restated in some way, or just made it be like, you know, give me a reason why I should like, you know, really feel that Jobin, all these J names got me messed up, why Jobin really wants the new Rokakaka. I mean, maybe he wants it to save Tsurugi, but he doesn't seem like he really cares about Tsurugi because Yasuo was just talking like, and Jobin, I love how Jobin hates Yasuo so much. Like, what did Yasuo ever do to Jobin? Yasuo was just like talking to Tsurugi, like, Tsurugi, are you okay? What's happening? And Jobin was like, flush this bitch down the toilet. Like, maybe Jobin knows that she's searching for the branch, but I'm a little fuzzy, like maybe like 20, 30 chapters ago. I'm not sure what Jobin exactly knows right now, but I know that he doesn't like Yasuo, and he's never liked Yasuo. But that's going to be it, guys, for JoJolion, the last chapter of 2019. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Really quick one. I mean, really not that much to discuss, honestly. Just, I guess we can talk in the comments of what you guys think is going to happen with Tsurugi in the future, what is going to happen with Josuke at the TG University Hospital, because he does not want to leave. He really is stuck there. Maybe there'll be some sort of conflict where Yasuo's like, I was attacked, Josuke, you gotta come save me, but Josuke also wants to protect Holly, and maybe he'll be torn between the two. Maybe he'll have to choose, like, do I want to go after the head doctor and, you know, protect Holly, or do I want to have to go save Yasuo and fight Jobin or whatever? But JoJolion, each chapter, more questions, not enough answers, and I really don't know where this is going to go from here. I think the next chapter, I would love to see Mamazuku, my favorite character in JoJolion. Haven't seen him in like 3 goddamn months. Where is he, Araki? I miss him. I know he's in prison. I know we just got a package. That'd be cool if the next chapter opened up with Mamazuku, like, oh, Mamazuku in like a prison outfit, new outfit, but he's still wearing his hat, obviously, or he has the hat off and you see like his dreadlocks, not his dreadlocks, but his braids. That would be really sick. I want to see Mamazuku in prison lifting weights, and then like a guard's like, right, you got a package, and then he opens it up. Fuck, that would be really cool. So let me know what you guys are expecting for JoJolion chapter 94, which should be January. Let me check. Is there going to be a hiatus next month? No hiatus next month, so there will be a chapter for January, which is really exciting. And the last thing I want to mention is that 3 hours and 24 minutes until the harvest. Next chapter, boys. We might have the harvest going down, and maybe again that's what Josuke informed Mamazuku of. Maybe he was like, the harvest is going to happen, so we got to find out where this branch is. But that's going to be JoJolion chapter 93. I'm sorry it was short, guys. I'm sorry there wasn't too much to discuss, but I think there was still some good conversation to come out of this, and we can of course discuss in the comments further of what you guys thought about this whole chapter. Overall, it was a decent chapter. I'd rate this like a 6 out of 10. I really wished that maybe the beginning of the chapter could have had a little bit more substance, because the first 10 pages, 1/3 of the chapter, was just Josuke shipping a package, which is like kind of, wasted panel space, but Araki likes to take his time, and of course the art looks really good. So like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and again guys, have a happy holiday, whatever you celebrate, anything at all, nothing at all. Spend time with your family, spend time with friends. I hope you guys all just have a wonderful holiday season, and I hope you guys bring in the new year with style. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, like if you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next year, I think. I do have a video coming out by the end of the year, but it's a little bit different. It won't have my voice or my face in it, so I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. But for now, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.